So, you've decided to jump into Warhammer, the best hobby in the world. You love the lore, the grimdark universe, and all the amazing miniatures. Until you go into a store and realize, damn, these little plastic soldiers are not cheap. Like at all. I mean, people call it plastic crack for a good reason. But here's a dirty little secret the Warhammer community knows that total beginners don't. You don't have to pay full price for Warhammer miniatures. And in this video, I'm breaking down the 5 best ways to build a fantastic Warhammer army on a tight budget. From hidden discount stores to second-hand gold mines. My name is Kiddo, welcome back to my channel, and without further ado, let's dive right in. Rule number 1 of budget Warhammer. Never buy directly from Games Workshop until you really have to. Official Warhammer stores are great for, hanging out or getting your mini of the month, but independent, friendly local game stores and online retailers regularly sell brand new sealed-in box Warhammer kits at 15 to 20% discount compared to official retail prices. It's also a great opportunity to support your local game shop and meet your friends and hang out and play the game, socialize a little bit. So depending on where you are, check out these sites. In UK or Europe, Wayland Games, Element Games, and Goblin Gaming. If you're in the US or in Canada, could be Frontline Gaming, Warpfire Minis, Gamers Guild, or Fenris Workshop. You're getting the exact same plastic, just with more money left in your pocket. And you may ask yourself, how is a local game store able to sell Warhammer with such a good discount? And why is Games Workshop actually encouraging this? And I'm gonna make it short and sweet. Like most manufacturers, Games Workshop does not sell its products to independent game stores at full retail price. GW sells boxes to independent stores at a wholesale discount, typically around 40 to 50% off MSRP, depending on the retailer's region, order size, and of course, account tier. The store buys it from GW for roughly like 50 to 60 bucks. And if the store sells it as a full price for 100 bucks and 40 to 50 bucks profit, if they offer a 15% discount, they still make a 25 to 35 profit per box. And this model is basically the cornerstone of GW's financial success. When Games Workshop sells 100 boxes to a local game store, GW gets paid immediately. The local store takes basically all the financial risk, storing the inventory, floor space cost, unsold stock, and GW receives, immediate revenue without having to pay for retail staffing and rent and utilities in that city. Running GW stores is expensive as fuck. So GW could never open enough official stores to reach every town, suburb, or country. So independent hobby shops act basically as GW's global distribution outposts, placing Warhammer on shelves in thousands of communities worldwide. This hobby also needs community. Independent game stores provide these large spaces and gaming tables that keep veteran players engaged for decades. So there you go. You get cheaper Warhammer miniatures, you can socialize a bit with your friends or community, and you can also support your local hobby scene. Sounds like a steal to me. Tip number 2. Embrace second-hand miniatures. The Warhammer hobby has a famous phenomenon called the pile of shame. People buy armies, never build them, and eventually sell them off at huge markdowns. When I started the hobby, I said to myself, I will never have a pile of shame. I love painting miniatures, and I will only buy a new miniature when I finish my last one. And oh boy, was I wrong. It just comes naturally when you're starting the hobby, I guess. And in this case, it is to our advantage because what is a woman's trash? It's another woman's treasure. But where do you find these secondhand miniatures though? Reddit r/miniswap, a community dedicated to buying, selling, and trading minis worldwide. They also have a huge list of scammers that keep you and the community safe, which I think is super important. eBay and Facebook Marketplace. Search for terms like Warhammer 40k job lot, new on sprue, or NOS, or unpainted. And if you're not a native speaker like me, or English is your second language, a job lot is a collection of various objects that are bought or sold as a group, usually at a lower price. This is what the dictionary says, so. Because I was always asking myself, what is a job lot? And number 3, specialty used retailers. Sites like The Troll Trader or Mighty Lancer Games or Warfire Minis specialize in pre-owned models. Pro tip, look for models described as new on sprue or unpainted if you want to assemble and paint them yourself from scratch. And if you buy painted models cheap, you can easily strip the paint using simple cleaners like isopropyl alcohol. And when you do so, please always use gloves and a mask and stick to the general health and safety protocol. If you want me to do a video about how to refurbish old pre-painted minis, let me know in the comments below. Tip number 3, boxed sets and splitting with friends. And this is one of my favorites. Buy bulk bundle boxes or split starter sets, and this is my absolute favorite one. If you buy individual unit boxes, the costs add up really fast. Instead, look at starter sets or combat patrol boxes. Starter sets. These ones include 2 factions at a fraction of the cost per model. Find a friend who wants the other faction, split the box 50-50, and you both get super cheap armies. And this is exactly what I did when I started my Warhammer journey. I bought the Warhammer 40k Ultimate Starter Set that included a Tyranid and a Space Marine army and split the cost with a friend, and we both got our amazing first armies to a fraction of the costs. The cheapest box I could find was 136. Divided by 2 is 68 bucks for your first army, and that is really not bad at all. And after you have painted all of them, you can add your missing models from eBay, to create a bazillion points Tyranid army. The cheap way. Number 2 is combat patrol boxes, and these are also a very good option to keep your wallet safe. Those are bundles designed to give you a completely playable army force while saving roughly 30% compared to buying each kit individually. If you don't need the full box, eBay sellers frequently buy large starter sets and split up the sprues and sell individual squads at super steep discounts. Tip number 4, start small with Kill Team. Play Kill Team first. A standard Warhammer 40k game is played at 1,000 to 2,000 points, which requires a lot of models. Trying to buy and paint that all at once can also lead to hobby burnout and is maybe not the ideal way to start into such a time-consuming and expensive hobby. Kill Team is Games Workshop's skirmish game set in the 40k universe. You only need one single box of 5 to 10 models to play an entire game. And it lets you learn the lore, test out different factions, and basically start playing tabletop games immediately for around 50 to 60 bucks maximum. I, for example, chose the Necron Kill Team. It's called Canoptic Circle, and painting all these miniatures was so incredibly fun because I really could see the end of the paint job, already when I started, as this box only includes 8 miniatures in total. And it really helped me to, stay motivated during painting because I knew I would finish this in 1 day or maybe 2 days or maybe over a weekend and be ready for my game with my friends. A super great alternative to paint minis, have fun, and really watch your budget. Tip number 5. Save money on hobby supplies. Finally, tip number 5. Don't overpay for paints and tools. Official Games Workshop clippers and primers and paints are good, but they carry a heavy brand premium. You can save massive amounts by choosing third-party brands. For paints, look at Vallejo and Army Painter or Pro Acryl, and they often give you more paint per bottle in convenient dropper bottles for less money. This is a different topic we're gonna cover in another video. I, for example, use a lot of Vallejo and P3, and I only had amazing experiences for a fraction of the costs. Tools. Grab cutters, hobby knives, and cutting mats from a hardware store or your local hobby store rather than luxury hobby brands. Primer. Hardware store spray primers work great when used properly and cost a fraction of dedicated miniature sprays. You can also buy your paints from a hardware store when you need them in bulk, I would say. I wouldn't use this for single miniatures, but for example, for dioramas or bigger basing projects, your little paint bottles would be empty so fast if you would use them on a bigger scale project. But when you use it, for example, for terrain, it works like a charm. These were the 5 beginner tips to save money when you are starting to paint and or play Warhammer. Guys, this hobby is incredible, fun, and basically a never-ending journey. And doing it smart means you can spend more time enjoying the game and less time worrying about your wallet. What faction are you planning to start with? Let me know in the comments below. And if this video saved you a few bucks, hit that like button and subscribe for more beginner-friendly Warhammer content. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much to my patrons as usual. And as always, stay chaotic, stay curious. Until next time, and bye. Tschüss. Auf Wiedersehen.